Welcome, everyone. So glad you're here for today's explainer. If you've ever had to navigate the tricky and, honestly, sometimes overwhelming world of addiction treatment, you know just how absolutely crucial finding the right environment is. Today, we're diving straight into the framework from Seasons Malibu. It's a premier luxury rehab and mental health treatment facility. We're going to break down their comprehensive approach to recovery, looking at it as this really fascinating model of care. We'll track the journey from that very first and, let's be real, often terrifying moment all the way through to building the tools for long-term sobriety. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this question right off the bat. Just hearing the word detox can trigger a ton of immediate fear, right? People naturally worry about the pain, the sickness, and the sheer physical toll of withdrawal. And listen, those fears, they are 100% valid. Trying to withdraw from certain substances without medical help isn't just, uncomfortable. It can actually be incredibly dangerous, literally life-threatening in some cases. Understanding exactly why medical supervision isn't just some fancy luxury, but an absolute necessity, well, that's the whole foundation of everything we're going to look at today.
So here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First up, the critical first step. Then, safe and supervised detox. After that, a luxury healing environment. Fourth is comprehensive therapy and recovery. And finally, beginning your journey.
All right, Section 1, the critical first step, medical detoxification.
Let's look at the textbook definition here for a second. Medical detoxification is the medically supervised process of managing withdrawal symptoms safely and comfortably. Think of it as the absolute bedrock for all the recovery that comes next. Why does this matter so much? Because withdrawal isn't just a bad flu. It can genuinely threaten your life, depending on what the specific substance is, how long it's been used, and just your own individual health factors. It's like trying to build a house on quicksand. You simply can't do it. You absolutely have to stabilize the physical body first before you can even think about starting that deep psychological healing process.
Moving right along to Section 2, safe and supervised detox, ensuring safety and comfort.
So the crucial point here, and honestly what I found really stand out about Seasons Malibu's approach, is who is actually leading the charge. They have a triple board certified addictionologist at the helm. You're not just being monitored by general staff here, you are under the care of elite experts who specialize entirely in addiction medicine. This creates this incredible sense of empathetic authority. They completely understand the complex science of the brain, the wild physical reactions of the body, and most importantly, they know exactly how to guide patients through the whole thing safely.
And their medical services? They form a complete, absolute safety net. We're talking 24/7 medical monitoring and medication-assisted treatment. That combination is huge for easing immediate discomfort and drastically reducing risks. But what's really interesting is how they pair that clinical care with essential nutritional support and hydration management. Because think about it, your body has been through the ringer. It desperately needs proper fuel to heal. Oh, and the whole shebang takes place in private, highly comfortable accommodations, so dignity is maintained the entire time.
Now, it's pretty fascinating how they coordinate the actual timeline of acute care. Take a look at Step 1. For clients coming off certain substances, like alcohol or benzodiazepines, that initial phase can demand some seriously intensive medical intervention. So in those specific cases, Seasons actually coordinates care with specialized partner hospitals nearby. Then we hit Step 2, achieving full medical stabilization through nonstop vital sign monitoring. Once the patient is safely stabilized and out of the woods physically, boom, Step 3, a seamless, smooth transition straight into their luxury Malibu facility to tackle the rest of the recovery journey.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, a luxury healing environment, oceanfront serenity.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core part of their philosophy. Just look at the stark contrast here. On the left side, you've got your standard detox facilities. They often have this very clinical, stark, almost institutional vibe. And hey, they serve a purpose, but they can feel pretty cold and sterile. But then look at the right, Seasons Malibu. We're talking serene oceanfront views, luxury accommodations, gourmet meals. It's a completely different world. And the reason this matters is that your environment profoundly impacts your mental state. Taking away everyday stressors and replacing them with peaceful, beautiful surroundings actively jumpstarts the body's natural healing process. It's a real game changer.
All right, on to Section 4, comprehensive therapy and recovery, the path to recovery.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because getting the substances physically out of the body is a massive, massive achievement. But physical detox, that's really only the very beginning. Once a patient is medically stable, they immediately dive into work with an expert mental health team. We're talking doctorate-level primary therapists and master's-level case management. Their main goal? To dig deep,
to get right down to the root causes of the addiction, finding out the real why behind the substance use, because honestly, understanding that why is the only proven way to prevent a relapse down the road.
This table right here really showcases the sheer breadth of their comprehensive approach. Notice how they absolutely do not treat addiction in a vacuum. On the left side, you'll see their specific addiction programs, things like alcohol, opiates, benzodiazepines, cocaine, meth, and polysubstance use. But look right next to it on the right side. Those are their mental health programs: depression, anxiety, complex trauma, PTSD, borderline personality disorder. It's incredibly impressive how this dual diagnosis approach tackles both sides of the coin simultaneously. They recognize that addiction and mental health are deeply, inextricably intertwined.
And to actually treat these really complex, intertwined issues, the therapists bring in a massive array of evidence-based tools. They use cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, to help rewire those negative thought patterns, and dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, for crucial emotional regulation. They also offer highly specialized trauma therapies like EMDR and brain spotting. Plus, they do somatic experiencing, which actually helps release trauma that's been physically stored up in the body. They even bring in equine therapy. Yes, with horses, and family therapy to help rebuild broken trust and communication. This whole diverse toolkit basically ensures patients walk away with the exact specific skills they need to maintain long-term sobriety.
Finally, Section 5, Beginning Your Journey. Take the first step. I want to read this quote to you directly from their materials because it's just so powerful. We understand that taking the first step toward detox requires courage. I think we really need to pause here for a second and just validate that experience. Asking for help, it is unbelievably difficult. It's emotionally draining, it can feel embarrassing, and it is undeniably, absolutely terrifying. But it is also, without a doubt, the bravest thing a person can ever do. And the professionals at Seasons Malibu approach that fear with profound, compassionate understanding.
To make taking that step just a little bit easier, the admissions team at Seasons Malibu is literally standing by 24/7. Whether it's 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning, you can call 424-235-2009, and they have trained staff ready to go. They'll verify your insurance, answer any burning questions, and just gracefully guide the next steps. The whole framework is set up so that no one, and I mean no one, has to figure this out alone. They offer immediate access to help the very second someone is finally ready. Which leaves us with this final, truly vital question. Are you ready to take the courageous first step toward lasting recovery? Addiction has this terrible way of making you feel completely powerless. But taking that single step, that is exactly how you reclaim your life. Think about everything we've looked at today. The rock-solid medical safety nets, those luxurious, peaceful healing spaces, the elite psychological care. The path is right there. It exists. The only question left is, when will you take that first step? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and please take care of yourselves.